Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video we're taking a look at some very fun battles in the Open Master League featuring my newly built level 50 Legacy Darkrai. Darkrai is a pure Dark type Pokemon with the moveset of Snarl, Dark Pulse, and the Legacy move of Sludge Bomb. Darkrai is extremely attack weighted, meaning this thing can output a lot of damage, but it cannot take a hit whatsoever. I'll be running it as the safe switch of a Metagross and Rayquaza pivot, with the goal being to bait out Fairy types and punish them with Sludge Bomb. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches, and let's check out level 50 Darkrai in the Open Master League. Hopping into the first match, and we've got a spicy core breaker on the lead as I lead Metagross into Zamazenta. Zamazenta, a very cool pick, but it does very well into both the Metagross and the Darkrai, so I kind of have to stay in here. Crunch will hit for massive super effective damage, overfarming with the Metagross, and this Meteor Mash is going to hurt. Meteor Mash will be shielded by the Zamazenta. Zamazenta will fire off the charge move just before I'm able to make it to my second Meteor Mash. I decide to let this through and go for energy on Rayquaza. Even if my opponent does have a Fairy type lurking in the back, I have Sludge Bomb on the Darkrai, and I'm going to have a massive energy lead on Rayquaza. And Crunch does not debuff, which means that I can actually no-shield the second move as well, and commit to the farm down. Crunch will connect, opponent finally gets the debuff, but I exit with the move. In comes MEWTWO, no baits here, I'm going straight for the Dragon Ascent, massive damage, in comes Darkrai, it's a simultaneous switch, Darkrai into Mewtwo. Mewtwo does not farm up enough for a Focus Blast, so it looks like this is a double Legacy Mewtwo, and Mewtwo is in a world of hurt going up against Darkrai. Darkrai fires off the Dark Pulse, Mewtwo commits the shield, Darkrai continuing to farm, opponent is going to try and go for the CMP tie, so I get an entire Snarl for free. Psystrike will connect, again Darkrai is absurdly glassy in the Master League, Dark Pulse will KO the Mewtwo, in comes MEWTWO, and Darkrai able to hang on, make it to another Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse takes down the MEWTWO, securing the win and the 2-shield flex. We see another tough lead in the next match, Metagross into Giratina Origin. I'm going to stay in this matchup to start and then look for a catch onto Darkrai. I safe switch into the Darkrai, opponent holds onto their energy, and in comes Dialga. Even though I'm not running it, Darkrai can learn Focus Blast. So I'm going to build up to a potential Focus Blast, and the bluff works. Opponent commits the shield, and they throw their energy as well. Because if they tried to farm down, I could have made it to a Focus Blast. However, as you can see, I am not running Focus Blast. So this is about the best case scenario. Not only did I bait out the Dialga, but I got a shield advantage as well. I can send in the Metagross, and Metagross is going to fire off the Earthquake. Earthquake will secure the KO. Opponent is going to be sending back in the Giratina. Giratina has a massive amount of energy, so even when I send in the Rayquaza, I'm probably going to need to shield. So I am going to commit the shield. Let's see what they have in the back. In the back, it's an Excadrill, and it's a Shadow Hundo Excadrill. You've got to be kidding me. That is incredibly rare, but as you can see, Shadow Excadrill is so frail. It's already below half health thanks to that Breaking Swipe. Oh my goodness. I'm just looking for a farm down now. They are going to be firing off this Shadow Rock Slide. Shadow Rock Slide into the Rayquaza. Not a problem for Rayquaza. Rayquaza gets the full farm down. Opponent is going to send back in the Giratina. Giratina should be, I believe, one off of the move, so I'm going to wait, not throw my fast move, and switch into the Metagross to get the catch. Opponent went for the Ominous Wind. They now have to try and commit to a farm down here, but Metagross will not be denied, making it to the Meteor Mash. Meteor Mash is going to get the Giratina to 1 HP, and we get the Bullet Punch farm down with 1 HP remaining on the Metagross. Metagross finally sees a favorable lead as it's going to be led into Dialga. This is fine for Metagross. The Earthquake nerf does hurt Metagross to a certain extent. I am going to farm up, go for the bait, and I'm really happy that I did, because my opponent makes the switch and catch onto Landorus. I'm farming up a bunch of energy with the Metagross, going for a switch into Rayquaza. I was hoping that my opponent would go for the superpower, but unfortunately I do not get the superpower catch, so I end up having to shield a Stone Edge. My opponent's Dialga has a ton of energy, in it comes, and they're gonna throw. I'm expecting they're not gonna bait since they're up a shield. They go for the Draco Meteor. I'm down 2 shields, but honestly, that doesn't worry me too much, because especially if I land this, I should be able to farm down and get debuffs on whatever my opponent has in the back. And that's one of the things that makes Rayquaza just brutally oppressive, is its ability to apply those debuffs. And in the end game, as you can see, I just blind tapped it. I should have checked the top right to see what was coming in, as I give my opponent an entire Incinerate for free. And here, I have to throw after 2 Dragon Tails, because the second Incinerate would secure the KO. So now I have double debuffed my opponent, and I send in Darkrai. Darkrai is absurdly glassy, even double debuffed. Sacred Fire does so much damage. I get debuffed. I have to try and reset the debuff by sending in Metagross. I have a lot of energy on the Darkrai. Meteor Mash will not be shielded. I continue to farm. Opponent firing off the charge move here. I will easily get KO'd by the Sacred Fire. If I can make it to back-to-back, I win the game, and I do, because Darkrai easily wins CMP over Ho-Oh. So at this point, this game is over. Opponent recognizes that fact, and they let the first move through. We see a terrible lead in the next match, Metagross into Kyogre. Darkrai save switch will be answered by Xerneas, and this right here is why I kept the Legacy Sludge Bomb on my Darkrai. As with Sludge Bomb, I'm going to be able to apply a lot of pressure onto the Xerneas. Sludge Bomb will connect onto the Xerneas. It's a CMP tie, and I'm going to be committing the shield. Opponent is going to go for the Moonblast. I'm looking to farm up with the Darkrai, going for another Sludge Bomb. Opponent will be KO'd here unless they commit a shield. Opponent is going to commit a shield. I do get the Snarl through as they fire off their charge move. They go for another Moonblast. I'm double shielding here, continuing to farm up with the Darkrai and going for another Sludge Bomb. I really want switch advantage, but my opponent is not going to let it happen. They commit the final shield, and they will be able to secure the KO here with a close combat from the Xerneas. I'm going to send in Rayquaza and look to Dragon Tail down. Opponent is going to send in their own Rayquaza, and I'm going to bank energy and send in Metagross. I might have stayed in too long in the Rayquaza mirror, as I took a lot of damage on my Rayquaza. And now, I guess, I just try and go for an incredibly aggressive farm down with the Metagross. The goal is hopefully to burn the switch clock by just having my opponent throw a bunch of charge moves, and if they burn the switch clock, then I can save the energy and reset the debuffs, which would be very, very nice. Breaking Swipe will connect. I do get the farm down. Switch clock still not yet up, and this is not good. Even after this Meteor Mash, the clock isn't up. I'm going to get farm down unless I throw the move. And not only is this resisted, it's incredibly debuffed. That does nothing to Kyogre. In comes Rayquaza. I can't let them catch the Dragon Ascent onto their Xerneas. They go for the Surf. Opponent sends in the Xerneas, and I have to hope that Breaking Swipe is enough here. This is a double resisted charge move, and the Xerneas lives on 1 HP, making it to the close combat, and unfortunately, we lose that game. We see a massive core breaker on the lead in the next match, Metagross into Groudon. Groudon absolutely destroys both Metagross and Darkrai, so this is incredibly bad. I'm going to stay in with the Metagross, and then hopefully try and make a catch onto Rayquaza at some point. I commit the shield, opponent does not bait, going straight for the Precipice Blades. Meteor Mash does quite a lot of damage to Groudon here. My opponent is going to shield back. I'm going to anticipate that they throw one before I get to my move, so I try and go for the catch. Opponent holds on to their energy, but then they send in their own Rayquaza. Being down energy in a Rayquaza mirror is not ideal for my opponent, as I land the Breaking Swipe, get the farm down, and they just straight up lose the Rayquaza. What do they have in the back? They have a Mewtwo in the back, and Mewtwo is really not going to like to see Darkrai, but I still have an issue where even though I have the alignment that I'm looking for, I'm still in a very tough spot that Groudon has a massive amount of energy and can very easily sweep me. I'm going to send in the Darkrai into the Mewtwo. Mewtwo farming up energy. In comes the Groudon, but a mistake from the opponent. They overfarm too much. They let me get the Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse gets the shield, and we get the CMP tie with the Metagross. Groudon has all this energy, but they do not get to use it. I can shield the Precipice Blades. This Meteor Mash will secure the KO. All that's left in the bag is the low HP Mewtwo. So despite an absolutely awful lead, we fight back and we get the win. I pick up a slightly positive lead in the next match, Metagross into Dragonite. Honestly, I definitely don't mind seeing Dragonite here. I'm looking to overfarm quite a bit and then go for the Meteor Mash. This will not KO, but it does a lot of damage to the Dragonite, so Dragonite will commit a shield. I'm going to let the first go. I am able to tank a superpower if they go for it. Opponent baits with the Dragon Claw, and now they're firing off what could be a superpower. I will respect it with a shield. They're now debuffed. I'm just watching for a switch. They refuse to switch. I go for the Meteor Mash, and the opponent reads me like a book with a sensational catch onto their Melmetal. And now I'm in a tremendous amount of trouble. What an amazing prediction there by my opponent. And I'm in shambles. I'm in a really, really terrible spot now. I'm just going to continue to farm up with the Metagross. Melmetal will fire off the charge move. It is the superpower. I'm a bit surprised they didn't Rock Slide there, but the superpower will be able to secure the KO. I mean, both would have KO'd, but with the superpower, they're now debuffed. I'm hoping that since the Melmetal's debuffed, I can live 2 superpowers, right? Surely I cannot. Darkrai is so glassy. I send in Rayquaza, back in comes the Dragonite, and Dragonite has energy. I decide to let this go. I'm saving my shield, hoping that Rayquaza, with the ability to hide behind a shield, can do well. Opponent, what do they have in the back? We've already seen the Melmetal. It's a Mewtwo. I'm farming up with Rayquaza. Mewtwo doesn't throw energy, and I'm going for the Dragon Ascent. Dragon Ascent will secure the KO, but it lowers my defense. The question is, can I make it to the Breaking Swipe and win the game? No, I cannot, as Rayquaza dies with the move. We see a familiar lead in the next match, Metagross into Giratina Origin. As before, I'm going to farm up with the Metagross and look for a catch onto Darkrai. I switch into the Darkrai. Opponent didn't throw Red away, but they still end up throwing their energy. Not able to react in time. My opponent now going to send in Xerneas. Xerneas is going to have to deal with these super effective Sludge Bombs from the Darkrai. Sludge Bomb will be shielded up by the Xerneas. Xerneas farming up quite a lot of energy, and I'm able to make it to Sludge Bomb number 2. They could have thrown a move and denied that energy, but instead, it looks like they're going for a farm down, and that is not going to work out, as Yveltal makes another Sludge Bomb, forces the final shield from the opponent. They leave with well over 100 energy. They have the back-to-back close combats here. They throw the first, but Metagross wins CMP, so I can go for my Meteor Mash, deny their second close combat, and save 2 shields for Rayquaza, and Rayquaza is an absolutely absurd closer now that it has access to Dragon Ascent. Opponent doesn't have any more shields, they're farming up with the Zacian. Well, guess what? They don't have a Zacian anymore. Dragon Ascent gets the one-shot, back in comes the Giratina, and the opponent concedes the match. We see a very nice lead in the next match, Metagross into Dialga, exactly where I want to see Dialga on this team. And Dialga is staying in this matchup, which honestly works out great for me. I'm looking to farm up, opponent has farmed up quite a lot of energy themselves. I'm going to no-shield the first, it is just going to be the Iron Head. I'm farming up, and I'm going for a Meteor Mash bait. Earthquake, despite the nerf, is still pretty threatening in this matchup, so Dialga will commit a shield. I'm farming up with the Metagross, going for the Earthquake, but Dialga, very nice CMP tie there, as this Iron Head will be enough to KO. I didn't really want to shield and then let myself get farmed down, so instead, I'm just going to send in Darkrai. I'm farming up with the Darkrai, going for the Dark Pulse right away. And Darkrai, as I mentioned, is very frail. It has a very high attack stat, it hits very hard. Opponent is going to commit the shield. They're firing off some energy, that's fine. I'm going to commit the shield, and I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse as soon as I get it. I'm farming up with the Darkrai, click on the Dark Pulse, the game forces an overtap, and due to the overtap, my opponent is able to switch into the Zacian and catch the Dark Pulse. Oh, that is extremely unfortunate. I'm going to fire off the Sludge Bomb. That does big damage to the Zacian. Send in Rayquaza. I'm not able to get the snipe, and I will be forced to burn a shield. That is really, really unfortunate there. I get the farm down, but I don't have any shields left for my Rayquaza. In the back, it's Landorus. Here, I'm farming up as much as I can, but I can't make it to the Dragon Ascent that I would have needed to secure the KO. So I throw the last second Breaking Swipe, so I lower their attack, but my opponent now gets to land a Stone Edge. Stone Edge will hit for massive damage. They can send back in the Dialga, and my recollection is it's not in Breaking Swipe range. Breaking Swipe gets the Dialga low, but the Dialga is able to hang on and take the win. Hopping into the final match, looking for some redemption, leading Metagross into Shadow Mewtwo. I'm expecting the Mewtwo is going to try and play to the CMP tie, so I'm going to farm up to the Meteor Mash, switch into the Darkrai, and catch. Whatever this is, I should be able to tank it no problem. It is going to be a Psystrike bait. Opponent now sends in Rayquaza. The visuals on the Dragon Tail there from Rayquaza look extremely strange. You only visually see 3. They get the KO, and I'm not really sure what happened there, but either way, Rayquaza's here, Darkrai got KO'd, and I'm back in with the Metagross. Metagross going to be firing off the Meteor Mash. Meteor Mash not quite going to be enough to KO, as Rayquaza will hang on with a fraction of HP. I can't even see the HP bar there, as they make it to the last second Breaking Swipe. I am debuffed now, which is a bit unfortunate. However, Meteor Mash, even when debuffed, still does a lot to Shadow Mewtwo. So my opponent is going to commit a shield. I send in Rayquaza, and perfect charge move timing from my opponent as they go for the Psystrike. Psystrike will be shielded. What's in back? It's Dialga, and this is very, very playable for me. I'm firing off the Breaking Swipe. Let's get that early debuff applied onto Dialga. Dialga now below half health. I continue to farm with Rayquaza. Them throwing here is perfect. Honestly, this is great for me because I can just get the farm down with Metagross. Opponent realizes that and they actually go for an undercharge. But this works because I'm healthy enough that I should be able to get 2 Dragon Tails onto the Shadow Mewtwo. That damage, as you're going to see, doesn't register until I bring in the new Pokemon, but I should be in a good spot here where they cannot bait and make it to a Shadow Ball. They can go for the Psystrike here and make another Psystrike, but they are short of a Shadow Ball. Psystrike is double resisted, Metagross able to hang on, and that is a good game. All in all, while I was able to go positive with Darkrai, I think I went 6-3 in the 9 battles that I played with it. Darkrai is a Pokemon that unfortunately does find itself outclassed when it comes to Dark types. Yveltal is going to do a lot of what you want Darkrai to do, but better, just due to the fact that Yveltal has a lot more bulk, and even something like a Shadow Tyranitar as well. Just being able to output a lot more fast move pressure is quite nice. So while I did have a lot of fun getting to run Darkrai and got to make some Mewtwo have a very unfortunate day, this is one where I would say you're probably better off saving your resources, just because there are stronger Pokemon already that kind of fill this niche. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you as always to our members here on YouTube. The support guys provide is sincerely appreciated. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.